Okay, we've been speaking about if a non-Jew makes tzitzis, machlokes, the Rosh, and the Rambam, even if you have Godel Oven Al Gabov, even if you have someone instructing the goy every moment to have in mind Lishma, Rambam says posul, the Rosh says kosher. Right? So, the Rambam says posul, as the Gemara always says. A goy adait nafsh kovid. He has a mind of his own, he doesn't pay attention, he doesn't listen, he has his own agenda. So that because of that, he can't be trusted. So it's lacking Lishma. The Roshas know, so at the Rosh we have to reconcile many Gemaras, because the Gemara says in many locations that by a goy we say adait nafsh kovid. The goy has a mind of his own. That's why all of a sudden over here do we say that regarding the spinning of the thread for tzitzis, a godel omer agamav is sufficient. Let's see. We have quite a few beralochas here. We'll start Shomer Liisha Tfili, all the way on top. The Mechaber said that if you give a woman thread, you say, spin this for tzitzis, it's enough. I Mishna Berura Mashikosav Ratzaloma Betchilas Atfiyah, meaning a Jewish woman. So when do you have to tell her? Before she starts spinning. It's not to tell her after she started, oh, by the way, do this, because what about the beginning? All that she spun until that moment. Just as if he would spin the wool himself to make it into thread, he'd have to say, I'm doing it for the sake of the mitzvah. So as a result, that the woman has to understand that she has to what? She has to have in mind. Lishma, the woman doesn't know what she's supposed to have in mind. Make this for tzitzis. She takes it. Does she have in mind for the sake of the mitzvah tzitzis? She doesn't. I mean, the mind is not, the person doesn't think it's for the sake of the mitzvah. Once you say to the woman, make it for tzitzis, that's enough. You don't have to reiterate it again. Lishma, but which before she starts, what has to be her mindset? That what she's about to do, she's doing it for the sake of the mitzvah of tzitzis. What? No. We say I'll call her die to die at the beginning, right? Right. Tfon akum. What about if a non-Jew spun it? Which spoke. What about if he's the three people, the deaf mute, the child, and the unstable? Ein simin top samach linyan asiyas hamatzah. What regarding baking matzah? A child. Sheish plukta b'zeh ben aposkim v'ochanam b'inyonim tzmachlokas. V'ole shom ledin ulfi hamaskomas achron. There's a consensus among the later authorities. Who are the later? Hataz, Mogen Avrom, Veli Rabbav, Chayo, V'chok Yaakov, Nami Di'im. 1 second. Dimi Efsher, Binyan Acher. If you have no choice, Muta Ba'omir Al Gabov. That if an adult is instructing the child to have the kavon, it's sufficient. Afilu Al Gabah Afilu Deyakum. Hear this? Even if, let's say, the non-Jew instructs the child. Foreman, like you have certain communities. You have these blacks from Haiti. They speak Yiddish. Speak Yiddish better than the American speaks Yiddish. Even a Hasidic Yiddish they speak. So you instruct him, say, stand over the child, and just keep telling him he has to make the matzah, knead the dough lishmo. They hold that if you hold that Omer al Gabav is sufficient for a child, even a goy, what's the difference? A goy or a Jew tells him. 1 second. V'kolshkim al yidei cherushot v'koten avol lechatchilo yishlach b'shul lasos al yidei akum v'cherushot v'koten. Afil omen al gabov cherush mikri. What is cherush in a shomei aveni medaber? Def b'shote an yoradea simin aleph. V'koten hu ad shenasa bar mitzvah. Koten is what until it becomes 13. Tani ad bas yud beis, a woman till 12. Ubalo omen al gabo posul b'chol hani. Unless you have somebody instructing him, there's not even consideration. that it's valid. Afilu b'di'evet, right? Shuvas Mishnos Yaakov, Shuchiach Midivri Atosis, the Omer al Gabo, Eno Nikro ba'Omer lo Pamachas Kodim Asi. It's not enough to tell him at the beginning he should start doing it Lishmo. Rak Tzorach Lahasiro B'Chosho is continuous. Shalo Yasir Datu Klau, because a child, he doesn't have a sense of their responsibility, so then his mind thinks about other things. Avokoshe Eno Omer al Gabo Masiro Tomid. But let's say he's not standing instructing while he's doing it, although he tells him make sure to do it lishma, it means nothing. From this we're able to learn. To people, they gave thread to young girls to spin the thread. They tell them initially, take this thread, spin it lishma, and then they walk away. Firstly, it has to be when they're ready starting. Beginning when they're starting, it has to be continuous. It's not enough just to tell them one. For an adult, it's enough, because an adult has a sense of responsibility, knows that it's told lishma. We say whatever follows is what the original intent was. But a child, unless it's ongoing, lishma doesn't mean anything. But not because Adait Nafshikovid. The child doesn't have to focus. To have that, right. Yeah, but the goy is for a different reason. The goy, because he has his own agenda. He couldn't care less. It has nothing to do with his capacity. Exactly. Right. Same problem. Correct.
How do we answer the question that the woman and the child don't have any relevance to the mitzvah?
Not a problem.
It's not a problem because...
It's only if the Torah indicates, like writing mezuzah, tefillin, and Sefer Torah, it says, Ukshartem, Uksavtom. So we see that the writing is contingent that if you have an obligation to put on tefillin. There's no limit by tzitzis, correct. Tzitzis psulos min haTorah l'divrei hakol. Ein sham chimash b'divrei chayodam, ein sham v'dah. Ode. She's saying if you have young girls, minors, spinning thread, where they tell them take the thread and make them for tzitzis, everybody agrees it's possible, 100% possible, those strings. The b'tfil l'shmo, v'dah ode, the b'tfil l'shmo. Kevon she dvar Torah, that the thread has to be spun for the sake of the mitzvah, it's a Torah law. Mukach l'divrei ha'pri megodim, Sham Simin Tov Samach, the Ein Liton Litvos Afilonar Ben Yud Gimel. Now this is famous. Well, what's being an adult? It's years and puberty. What happens if you have one without the other? It's not an adult. So let's say you have a child's 13 years old, and it's not clear if you reach puberty. So you say, well, most children by the age of 13, but the Gemara says when we deal with a doraisa, we don't rely on this. If the child has to be checked to see if he reached puberty. He's not checked, for instance, parshas Zohar. Unless the child shaves, he has facial hair, well, you know factually that he's reached puberty, even if he's 13, he does not read parshas Zohar. Because it's doraisa. Okay, so he's saying, so that would be, Afil Nayud Beg Chainara Kozman Shli Yadina Shevir Shtei Sairos. Until you know that they've reached puberty, you don't rely on that. Ach b'di'evet nireh she'efsher tein l'hachmir. We rely on what Rava says. The presumption is most children, by the age of 13 or 12, if they're that old, puberty usually goes with age. But l'chatchila, definitely, we don't rely on this. Ein simin lametes shari tshuva sheikul sham b'shem nori b'udo ein sham b'bir halocha b'shegodlo meragavim lamnom lasos tishmon nira di shloka b'zer l'chatchila. That if you have a 13-year-old boy and you're not sure if you reach puberty or a girl, and you have somebody instructing him, then there's not a question. Of course, we have chazaka derova, the presumption is the child did reach puberty, and in addition, there's this ongoing instruction by the adult instructing him to have him on lishma. We're going to have later, according to the Chofetz Chaim, he cites a Ramban and a Chinuch. Parshas Torah we say in the morning before we study. Is that a doraisa, that a Germana? It's a Ramban, the position of Ramban and the Chinuch is it's a doraisa. So let's say a person was up all night and you go to a 13-year-old boy, just turned 13, because you motzi me in Parshas Torah. So what is being Shemay Kohen is being motzi in what? In a Torah obligation. It's like no different parshas Zohar. You shouldn't go with that kind of child to be motzi. Because we could conclude that it's a Doraisa Birchas Torah in the morning. When you get out of Liyah, it's Drabbana. Saying let's say Asher B'chavon, same bracha, but in the morning to permit you to study Torah, that's a Torah obligation. So you can't rely on the child. What comes out very often, it's a problem. You know, when you have seen Sefer Torah, you call people up to write letters. So, the problem with Chal Shabbos, right? Because the halacha is that if a mumer, the person is considered an apostate, the Sefer Torah has no value. So if he's going to fill in the letter, it's a problem, right? So it's not really a problem because you have the outline. The letter is there from the sofer. It's purely hiddur. He's only filling it in. It's firstly. Secondly, very often the sofer does go over it. Because if he goes over it again, even you call these freshen up the letter, it's like obliterating the first one and writing a new letter in its place. But to call up a minor to write a letter, no. So now what about a 13-year-old boy? 13, but you're not sure you reach puberty. So we're dealing with a doraisa. A child writing sefer is not kosher because it's dependent upon his chiv to with tefillin, right? The child has no obligation to with tefillin. So adding a letter is possible. Yeah, you want to hear something? You got it, okay.
No, the problem for you just mentioned the lesson that the Rambam says for the rest of the Torah.
Yeah.
Asher b'chavana.
Asher b'chavana. Well, we hold l'chat b'diavad, one bracha is sufficient.
Either one.
If a person has a suffix, it's a birchas Torah. You have to repeat it. You have to say it. So, but Mishna Berura cites the post-game, you say one rather than two, because you could be yotzu one bracha. So which is the bracha you should say? Asher b'chavanu. That's considered mu'ula sheb brachos. That's the more special of the two. It's a Gemara in brachos. Therefore, asher b'chavanu you say. Okay?
Is making tzitzis a mitzvah?
Teher shemitzvah. Like
And making matzahs is also not a mitzvah, but we have this concept of
but it has to be made
you
right.
have to have kavana even though it's
Right.
not a mitzvah. And you have to have kavana. You don't have to have kavana when making a lulav. So why? I understand there's a possibility.
No, because it's based on psukim.
behind it?
It's based on psukim.
It's just solely based on
Psukim.
that's
Correct.
it.
Correct. Okay, let's see the